So is London sucking the life out of the north? Preston's only 2 hours from the capital by train, and for young workers it seems the train only runs one way. Unemployment here is actually lower than the national average, but still Preston is seeing this youth exodus. In the last 3 years, 800 young people left for London, 600 headed to Manchester. Every year, thousands of graduates leave this university for the big, wide world. They go where the jobs are, and for many, that just means London, or it means abroad. These days, the city's fashion students work in China, the States, Uzbekistan. After graduation, about a quarter will stay in the northwest, but 3/4 choose London.
There's much more going on, and there's more culture there, and it's where the jobs are at the minute.
It's a lifestyle in London, really, isn't it? I mean, it's not just a place for fashion. You've got all your museums and everything else. It is a lifestyle more than anything else.
I think a lot of people probably go to London to get their first job and decide never to come back, so I can understand that.
If you went to London, do you think you would come back to the northwest?
I'd like to think that I would come back, but I think once I moved down there, I probably wouldn't come back.
There are jobs to stay for. Clothing companies in the northwest are on the up, but they're fighting a fashion for working in London.
More and more companies in Manchester are actually struggling with filling the vacancies because students who went to London stay there.
Those with designs on jobs in Preston are finding it tough. The city has lost 3,000 private sector jobs in the last few years.
It was as though somebody turned the tap off. Overnight, the job market just went managerial executive.
Elaine Rooking's in recruitment. In the last year, she says there's been a trickle of new jobs, but she says nothing compared to London.
The markets are so different. There's a glut of people, good quality people down there, and they have a lot of work, so it's more fast moving. They are a lot busier than what we are.
The leader of the council says Preston's ambitions were dealt a sucker punch by the cuts in their government grant. It's fallen from 19 million to 9. Are those cuts widening the economic divide, do you think?
Oh, undoubtedly. I think northern authorities have been much worse hit because traditionally we have relied on that central government grant. And we're not the only one, but we are perhaps one of the worst hit authorities in the country.
And that's made it hard to compete with the fashion for London. Preston says it needs more jobs and more investment to reverse that trend.